Welcome to the wonderful world of Disney, where heroes rise and villains fall, where princesses are saved or saves themselves, where fathers die and stepmothers are evil, and where you walk into the sunset and live happily ever after. Not this game. This is where only villains win. Where villains face other villains. Where the worst takes it all. Who's the most wicked to the core? Who's the slickest because evil comes prepared? Who's just perfectly wretched, the most intelligent to come up with the most despicable plots, who is just bigger and badder, whose ingredients is filled with fright, sugar, and spite. This is the introduction to evil. This is Disney Villainous.
Alright, welcome YouTube. Just a remarkable one now to do a different card game other than just Yu-Gi-Oh! And that is Disney Villainous. Now, before I get started on the characters, I will show you how to play with my assistant. Well, I guess just Pooh Bear.
Oh, bother.
And it's very simple. You're the villain. Everybody's the villain, and the first one to get it done wins the game. Now, I'm mostly going to be doing it through 1v1 because I already had the chance to do more than 2 players, and the strategy will be a lot different. But 1v1 is just the most that happens. I will teach you the strategies of how to play each character and to know what to do and what not to do. This is the board, and as you can see, it starts when you take your token of who you have, and you start on the left side. Once you're in the left side, when you first start, you can't start where you're on. So whenever you start here, here, or here. Start off by having your fake deck here, and then your regular deck right here. Now this is your regular deck that you play with. This is your fake deck. We'll get with that later. So then, first things first, when you start off with 4 cards. 1, 2, 3, and 4. At the end of your turn, you draw cards until you have 4 in your hand. So if you have 0, you draw 4. If you have 3, you draw 1, and so forth. If you have 4 or more, you don't draw anything. So the main thing you want to do is to try to draw as many cards as you can to give you more chances. Everybody will start off with 2 power, and I will get to you what does the power does. So right, so here we go by the guidelines here, and the first one you see here is to gain power.
Power!
With great power comes more power.
Now we know as a villain, you need power. Without power, you got nothing. Hopper had power, and that's when he was able to control all the ants. Once he lost his power, that's when the ants all got to him. Maleficent, most powerful being, controlled many demons in her realm, although not only that they're stupid, but they outnumber her 1,000 to 1, but it's because she had so much aura, so much power, that she's able to control them. And you see in other Disney movies, when they had power, Scar had power, and he controlled all the hyenas, but once he lost all his power, that's when the hyenas ate him. So that's why power is the most important thing. And as you see here in these boards, if you see one with a number, that is how much power you can get. So you see 1, 1, but you see right here to gain 3, you can gain 2. Whenever you go on the board, that's the most important things to get. Because without power, you can't activate these cards. Like you see the ones on the upper right, that's how much you pay to use. If you don't have enough to use it, you can't use it. You have to have power in order to use your cards. The more you can use, the better chance you have of winning. And as you know, once again, as being a villain, power is everything. Power is the only thing that you can to do anything. And then the second one is play a card. Now these actions right here, you need this in order to play any of these cards. Without it, if there is none, or if it's blocked, which I'll get to later, you can't use these cards. Doesn't matter which one. It's the second most important one. Because without these, you can't play any of these, and you can't get to your goals. That's one thing you look for, is power to gain, to play these cards, and then play a card in order to be able to play these cards. Now there's some that has right here that has 2. That means you're able to play 2. But remember, these cards cost power. Some will cost maybe 1, some cost maybe 0, or it could be 3 or more. So it depends. But obviously, if you have a lot of power, you don't have to worry about it too much. But yeah, these are important as well. There are 4 different types of cards. There is items, effects, allies, and conditions. All right, we'll go with allies first. Allies are pretty much your friends, and it will always start in the bottom of each row, depending on where you want to put them. You can put them anywhere you want, unless they have a specific place they tell you to start them on. And what they're here for is for battle, which I'll get to the vanquish soon, or they're here to help, manipulate the board into how you want it. But mostly you want to get these out as much as you can, but try to spread them out. And also, not only that you see how much you have to pay to choose them, you see their strength down here. And the point is, once I get to the vanquish, I'll let you know the whole spiel. But right now, obviously, the higher the number, the better it is. That's why you want to spread them out. That way you have many opportunities to take out a hero. And how does a hero go in there? I will get to that later. Now, the next one type of card is you have effects. Now, these are pretty much your powers. You just pay, you use it, and once it's used, you put them in the discard pile. Right here. But, they have effects. You pay, you use. Some of them are really great. Some of them helps you set up. And some, not so much, but that's what the effects are. These pretty much are just your power, and everybody is different, but it all just helps you reach your goal. Then the next one will be items. Now, these items stay there just like the allies, but they're not, like you can see, they don't have no attack power. They're not ready for that. They're for specific things that they're there for. And items not only could go on anything here, but also could attach to an ally. Like, not this one specifically, but there's items that says if it's with an ally, it would increase their strength or give them a new ability. It all just depends, because most of these neat stuff is just by reading. And then last but not least, conditions. And as you see, there is no power in these conditions. That's because all conditions, you can say, are your trap cards. You can only use them on your opponent's turn. And most of these stuff, they're pretty easy to activate, because it's a condition. It's actually during their turn, if another player has 6 or more power, you may play Trickery, which is this card. Reveal and play the top card of that player's fate deck. So right here is usually on their turn to either mess them up or to further your goal. But you got to remember, once it's your turn, you do not draw an extra card, because you only draw at the end of your turn, not your opponent's turn. So even if you use this, you use 2 more conditions, then you would just have 2 cards in your hand. But these conditions sometimes are very good. It helps you either further or just to mess up your opponents, because it's a race to the clock of who can reach their goal first. The next one is activate.
Activate is a special ability for certain cards to further along your objective, like gaining power or getting rid of possibly an item or a hero, depending on what the action states at the bottom of the card.
Effects, but once you're able to be on the board that has it, then you can use their effects. And some that can be very helpful, some not. And the next one is fate. Now, we've been talking about fate. Is these white cards right here. And these cards are here that has all the heroes, the effects, and items that go against you that your opponent can through, right? And there's always 2 in each board. Each board has 2 of them. That way, possibly you could go back and forth. And so the 3 different ones, I'll show you each one. Right, and first things first, we'll show you the hero. Now, when you play the hero, you can put it in any location you want, or if it has a specific location to go, then you just go you go to where it says to put it. But so where you put it, anywhere you want, if it has a specific place to go, you put it where you want to. So you just put, and you cover the top 2. You see the lines right here. That's where you will put the hero. You can see right here, this is where you put the allies or items, and right here, this is where you put the heroes. So you might want to cover maybe this one so that they can't fate you once every turn, maybe once every other turn. But here, so they don't get to play 2 cards or just 1. Here, it's just, and they don't get to play any cards at all. Or in here, so they can use their activated, is that important. And you can stack them if you want, but that's what all the heroes are. They're to mess your opponent up, or they're to mess you up. And it's up to you to try to get rid of them so that you can have an open board and have a better chance. And sometimes you may need a hero, because some is to vanquish a hero, a certain specific hero. And so you're going to have that. Or certain ones when you need to keep on vanquishing heroes to do what you need to do. So it's like, it's a different strategy. Some heroes are more gruesome than others. It's just up to you to work around it. But not only does heroes, there are items. Like this Snarfly right here, you can attach it to a hero. The things with items is they cannot be played anywhere, just like your items for you. They have to be attached to a hero. There's only pretty much, I think, one deck that items can be there otherwise, but other than that, all items has to be attached to a hero. So once you use a fate, you draw the top 2 and you look at it and you play whatever you can. See, there's a hero, I could play a hero. Let's say there's 2 items, nothing happens because they cannot be set. Unless there's a hero on, then you can use it to attach it. If there's none, and you got 2 items, it pretty much was a wasted fate. And then last but not least, not only that you have an effect, but the fate also has an effect that can remove an ally, remove an item, make you go somewhere else, and just mess you up pretty much, and could ruin your chances to win or get to the goal as quickly as you can. So that's another one too, and that one pretty much you always have to play. Now the next one is move an ally item or ally. Now right here she has one where let's say there's a hero right here and your allies right there, and you want to, the only way you can get rid of them is they have to be near each other. If they're not, then they can't fight unless it says they can fight one that's adjacent. So with this one, you could just, if you're here, you can activate it and bring it here and use that to move this here, and then right there they're adjacent, and then you can have a chance to vanquish the hero. And once again, just to repeat, this has to be in a certain spot to activate any of these. So if this is here, these are your 4. These are you're here, these are your 4. These are here, you're your 4. But but it's only once after you move. So that's what you're left with. So sometimes it's better to start here. Since you're here, start here, because you got 3, you got 2. I'll tell you what this is because it's very important as well. Moving an item too, same thing. You can move an item that's not necessarily have to be attached to an ally, but you just move it because it may have an effect on a certain wherever you go, you step on, or something else. And speaking of which, when it comes to moving, you can move freely. You don't have to go, oh, if it's next to me, I have to go. You could bounce back from here to here as much as you want. And the next one is move a hero. It's the same thing as move an ally, except now you can move this. So if they're in your way or something you want to use, you can use that to move it somewhere else. And then the next one is vanquish. Now everybody has a vanquish, but except for her, because she has her vanquish is different. For sake, if you have a vanquish, that's what you need in order to vanquish a hero. Now don't worry, if there's 2 heroes, they don't boost each other up unless their effect is. But you can only attack 1. You can't attack 2, even if they're in the same location. Just be mindful of that. It's better to take away the one that's giving you a hard time to reach your goal. The last one, discard cards. Now you're thinking, wait, why would I want to discard cards? Because at the end of your turn, you draw till you have 4 cards. Like I said about conditions, if there's a condition you have that you don't think will be activated or rarely activated, you could discard it. Just get rid of it in the end, so that you could draw as many cards that you need to get to 4. You could discard your whole hand if you want to, and then you draw 4 cards. And the name of the game is to draw your deck out, and you keep on doing it, because there may be cards that you need that if it's discarded, the only way to get it back is to put it back in your deck, because the only way you can shuffle cards back in the deck is if you have used all your cards and you have none. Then you could shuffle your deck, then you just draw the remaining cards you need to get to 4. You got to keep on drawing it in order to get to that one piece that you need to get to the cards that you need to get. This is the best, like for Ursula, this is her best board, because you get 3 powers the most. There's none that has more than 3 power to gain. You get to use 2 different cards, and then you get to discard. So right here you can use your whole entire hand, and then you get to draw 4 cards. And that's the name of the game in here, is to draw a great amount of cards. And just to give you the number of importance, game power is the most important. Always try to gain the most power as you can. And if you feel like you have enough power, still gain power. Because there's games where I've lost because I could have won if I had enough power, but I thought I had more than enough. The second one is play a card, obviously, because you have to play cards in order to win. The third most important is to discard. Once again, you want to draw more cards. Then it is to fate, because you want to mess up your opponent. If they're reaching their goal faster than you are, or they're annoying you with fates and they're just going scot-free, that's when fate starts becoming more important. And then pretty much everything else depends on if they have it, and if it's that important. Like vanquish is probably more important when you want to win in the end, when you got the hero you need. But pretty much everything else is not too important. I will give you the breakdown for each character, and then tell how I think they good are, how my wife Pooh Bear thinks they are. And if you're wondering who are we going to start with, the cover girl of the first pack, we're going to start off with Maleficent. Since she's the one on the cover, we'll start off with her. And the next episode, I'll show you the ins and outs of how to play as Maleficent, what cards are great, or how to use them, what cards are great to use to discard, and what boards you want to be frequently often, and also how how to win as her. What's her mission, and go on objective. All right, but thank you for watching. I really like this game. I hear that they're doing a Disney Villainous Unstoppable, which is a more kid-friendly game, but I'm just hoping that they're adding more villains, especially Pixar villains. There's only 2 Pixar villains with 24 of them. So hopefully, someone like Hopper will come around, or maybe like Ernesto de la Cruz. We'll see what happens. But until then, next episode will be Maleficent. And thank you for watching, and have a remarkable day.